Which of these tunes was the most fun to work on? And is it the same as your favorite song on the record?
I think both of those favorites were probably You Ought to Be Cut in Half. It's so absurd and silly. And we kind of just ran with the absurdity of it. And I had a lot of fun doing little pizzicato fills and adding some vocals to the background and making it just a little bit weirder than it was initially. And I'm glad everyone was on board with that.
So, Cliff, we hung out with Mike Litzkin and Amber Litzkin.
Mm-hmm.
Today, Mike is of Woody Radio, the show with no name. We've known him for years. He's a fabulous DJ. But you alluded to the fact that you've been never interviewed.
True.
By Mike Litzkin.
Yeah, he seems like, I think he lived in the Valley when he was younger, so that's cool. Yeah.
And now in Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to ask you a question that he would have asked you. And see
Okay.
what your answer is. What is your favorite food?
I'll just go with barbecue. As a kid, for my birthday, my mom would make barbecue spare ribs. Actually, probably just in a pan with barbecue sauce on them, but they were still great. Rarely eat it anymore, but that keeps it special, and maybe keeps me healthier too. So.
I get that.
Mm-hmm. Are you ever gonna make me any ribs?
Oh, absolutely. Next weekend. Are you down?
Oh no! I'm embarrassed.
You can't give me a challenge like that and not take me up on it.
No.
So, John, you are not only a talented musician and an exemplary human being, but you're also what I often describe as a noted rock scribe.
Wow.
A writer on all things musical. And your fans may know you from such great hits as Beatles, Line Books, Shake Some Action 2.0, and The Beatles 100. Available at all fine
Retailers?
retailers, yes.
Fans? You said fans?
Fans,
I don't know about fans.
I do.
I'm one.
So, I don't envy the job when you do the reviews. I know a lot of people, might be a little demanding. It's difficult to navigate. But it bums me out that you can't review the Armoires anymore. I mean, we couldn't be happier to have you in the band. But you can never pen that 5-star review. Would you do a 5-star review in this record?
Of this album?
Yeah.
Oh, certainly.
Aw.
Well, what would you say about it?
What would I say?
Yeah.
The band, outside of the drummer, has reached a new level. The previous releases were very, very good. Each one, I think, and this is my rock journalist side talking, each one has gotten better and better and better, and there has been a significant leap with each record, and this one surpasses all the other ones in terms of songwriting and production and instrumentation.
And drumming.
And drumming.
If you insist.
I do.
Someone's phone's ringing.
It's okay. I'll shut it off.
It's okay. All right. Shut down.
There we go.
You know what? That's what happens sometimes here in the Octoberland Daily Dispatch.
Busy time.
Noted rock scribe, John M. Borak.
Oh, my favorite track. Well, that's the weird thing about working on stuff that when you make your own music or you write your own songs, you love them all because you made them or whatever it is. When you work on other people's stuff, you end up loving them just because of, you get inside and you've heard every little thing and you just kind of get used to it. And even stuff that might not have been your cup of tea, you really do live with it and discover the soul of it, for better or worse. And I think, everything that I work on at some level, I'm going to really get to loving it regardless. And I do think all these things every song on this record has a lot of really special things going on for it. Some of them are just really fun. Some of them are really interesting. And there's a few that just kind of take you to an extra kind of like emotional space. I think Here Comes the Song kind of really starts to do that, especially once we got all the strings on. And it sounds like it's a very happy kind of, like it's a very positive message, but it's not at all if you really listen to it. It's very dark. But I like that. I like songs that kind of mislead you and you're thinking it's one thing when really it's not. I do that a lot, and 90% of the time people, even though I'm not a lyrics person, I don't usually pay attention to what lyrics are. It always surprises me when we can throw people a curveball like that and they still never really understand it, never see it. I could go on, but I would say my favorite one on this is probably Music and Animals, because that one's just got a special vibe to it. Like I knew right away when I heard that one, I'm like, oh, I know what I need to do with this. And it has a certain, driving at night kind of peaceful, kind of what I call like, when a song has a lot of crescendo and it comes to it splashes onto the beach. It kind of already is there right from the top. And you're just kind of grooving with it, and it doesn't really ask a lot of you. And when it gets to some of the parts that are where it really talks about the animals, and some of which passed away like during the course of this, that's kind of poignant, and it really is true, and it was true for me as well as everyone else. It's like, the music in our lives and the animals are what really get us through, and you really feel that in that track. And it was pretty exciting for that to be the first thing to kind of leak out from this project. I hope people are paying attention. And the fact that it's at the very end of the album, it's a really great closer. I think when you can close with something that really gives you kind of a longing, a little bit of an ache. There's two ways you can end a record successfully. One is to do something so kick-ass that you're just like, I gotta play this again. And the other thing is to leave you just kind of aching for a little, to go back in there, because it was what you experienced in the album was so touching. You don't want to leave, so you want to get, and I think that song really does that well. Music and Animals.
So the song sequence on Octoberland,
Yeah.
that came together in an unusual way, right?
It really hasn't changed since we wrote it, basically.
The writing of it was the sequencing of it.
Yeah.
We came in with ideas, but the details filled themselves in, and they kind of related from song to song.
Mm-hmm.
And I always think, as a screenwriter and storyteller, you've done that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So you know that when an idea gets introduced,
Mm-hmm.
it's like Chekhov's gun, it's going to be used later.
Right.
So if there's a concept or an image in one song, like when the crows start to come in,
It becomes a motif.
it becomes a motif, but you can't put the songs out of order, because that's going to pay off here. And it started to get more and more that way.
Yeah. It was pretty organic.
Yeah, I felt like there was. I always think it's really funny because Music and Animals was one of the last songs we wrote. It's the last song that was hung on the album,
Although it was the first single that we put up.
and that was in deference to Mr. Simmons, who said you can't bury it at the end of the album. And so we said, all right, it'll be
It'll be our
the
first
first single that everyone will be waiting for.
Yeah.
It's a story.
Mm-hmm.
So as the signing continues, John, which song on this record did you have the most fun doing the drums on, or did you find the most rewarding to do drums on?
I loved almost all of them as far as drumming to them goes. I'm looking at the track listing here. One that I particularly enjoyed was Ridley and Me After the Apocalypse. I love how it kind of has that little sort of rock, sort of birdsy / rock beginning. Then it goes into kind of a Gary Newman sort of synthesizer thing. and then it's almost like the punky energy. So it's like all these genres thrown into one pot and mixed up, but it sounds great. It was so much fun to play. Another one that I really enjoyed, and I thought about this when I was listening to it on my way up here today, was "It's a Good Time to Come Back Down from the Cold."
Yeah.
Just sort of kind of a mellow sort of song, but I played things a little differently than I would normally play them. And I guess I subscribe to the Ringo Starr theory of drumming. Surprise, said the guy who's in a Beatles cover band. But I was listening to an interview with Ringo once, and he said, I never know when I'm recording what I'm going to play until I play it. I don't think 16 bars in, I'm going to do this, and 24 bars in, I'm going to go there. He goes, I just do what I feel. And that's what I did on a lot of these songs. If I had to play them exactly the same way again, I don't know if I could, because it was just, I was just sort of in the moment. And I listen back to some of the stuff now, and I think, wow.
Well,
I don't remember doing that.
The Good Time to Come Back Down from the Cold is such a dynamic. The drums tell a lot of the story in that song. So for that to have been instinctive, it's you just knew where the song was going. And
yeah, and just tried to add things that were maybe a little different. And then Mike Simmons did some cool production stuff on that one, where he kind of had the hi-hat be sort of prominent, which doesn't happen on a lot of songs, but he did it on that one, and I think it really works well. And that was kind of cool for me to hear.
Ooh, that's a cool one, Rex.
Yeah.
Where are we right now?
Well, we're at the Boot Barn on Buck Owens Boulevard in Bakersfield.
Imagine that.
And that's...
The best place to buy.
Yeah, it's got to be the
Paisley
the
shirts.
ultimate boot barn that ever exists. And this seems like it has
Put it on.
lived up to its promise. So,
Oh yeah, look at that.
yeah, I think
That's perfect.
we're good. Thank you, Buck.